In today's video, we're gonna see if we can make the RS3 even louder with this. Now before we get into it, let me quickly catch you guys up. In the last video, we had WinFab Performance install a full custom downpipe and midsection on the RS3, and it is safe to say that the car now finally screams. We've definitely brought back the famous 5-cylinder sound that these cars are known for. Now something we have recently found out is that even in performance mode, the stock valves never really fully open. In the lower RPM ranges, the valves are barely open, but as you get on the throttle and your revs climb, the valves open up more but still don't open 100%. So today, we're installing this exhaust valve controller from 11 mode, and this should give us full control of the valves, allowing us to open the valves all the way and keep them open. Now before we get into it, I'm just going to quickly start the car so you guys can hear how it sounds on the cold start, but then also hear how it sounds just idling before we install the valve controller. So that's the idle in performance mode, and now we'll close the valves. And this is in comfort mode, so the valves are now closed, and this is how it sounds on idle. So as you can see, that's very quiet. So here's how it comes packaged. This valve controller is from 11 mode, and I'll put the Instagram in the description below. But let's open it up and see what's inside. Here we've got the remote. You got two buttons on the remote. I hope it's focusing. The top button will open the exhaust valve fully, 100%, and the bottom one will close it up fully as well. Inside the box, I'm not sure what you call them, but we also have these two pieces. We've got one for each side because we have two valves on the exhaust, one on each side. Now honestly, this is a very basic install from what I've seen. It should only take a couple of minutes, but we got to plug these into each valve on both sides of the exhaust. As you can see, you pretty much just unplug the connector on the valve, plug it into here, and then you plug this side back into the exhaust valve. So as simple as that. And you do that on both sides. Now the first step before we install it is to lock the car, and it is recommended that we actually take the keys and leave them 10 meters or more away from the car. Also leave the car locked for a good 10 minutes. That way it allows the car to completely shut off before we touch any of the electronics. And I'm guessing that is just to avoid any codes being thrown or the car freaking out for whatever reason. Now that we've left the car for 10 minutes, we're gonna jack up the car. That way we can get some access underneath here to the valves. But once we're under there, it should literally only take a couple minutes. It's a very basic install. Okay, so pretty much what we have to do is unplug each valve and then plug the connector into this side here. And then we plug this side back into the valve. So it kind of just sits in between the stock connector and the valve. And then with that done on both sides, we'll be able to control the valves manually with the remote. This is the first valve here. I've already released this connector. Pretty much to release it, you just gotta squeeze that tab there and pull it out. But this one here was connected up the top here behind there. Oh, you can see it just there. That one was in there. So just unplug that. And now we can connect the new valve controller. Alrighty, so we're just connecting this side first. Just let it click in, just like that. And what to do is then plug that other side, just up the top there. Yep, you just heard that click in. But just triple checking that is all connected nicely. Now that's one side done. And now it's time to do the other side. Pretty much the exact same thing. It's so easy, I'm almost second guessing myself. I just unplug it, plug in one side, plug the other side in. Literally 2 seconds. It is now time to start this thing up. Okay, so for the first start, we will just make sure that is in comfort mode, valves are closed, and we'll start it up. That's valves closed. And there we go, the cold start just finished, so comfort mode, just idling. That's how it sounds. And now let's open the valves. So the remote works. Valves closed. Valves open. I don't know about you guys, but so far I can't really tell much of a difference. At least not on idle. Okay, so I just had to muck around with it. I'm trying to figure it out. When you're in comfort mode, you can open and close the valves. So it's closed, open. And you can tell the difference when you're revving it. If we close it up again. And now we open it up. Pretty much sounds exactly like it does in performance. So it's almost like this remote gives us control of the valves when we're in comfort mode, but when I flick the car into performance mode, it still automatically opens the valves, as you'll hear. But now the remote no longer works, so when I close it, nothing happens when I press close, and when I press open, also no change. Okay, so I've done a little bit more research and found out how this valve controller remote actually works, and it turns out we did have it wrong. I just assumed that top button open the valves, bottom button close the valves. And yes, the top button does open the valves entirely, but the bottom button doesn't actually close the valves. What it does is it just reverts it back to the factory settings. So if you're in performance mode and you press the bottom button on the remote, you're not actually closing the valves, you're just reverting it back to those factory settings. And in the factory settings, the valve is open, just not all the way. So with this installed, when we're in comfort mode, we can now choose to open up the valves and be loud while we're in comfort mode, which normally when you're in comfort mode, you're not trying to be loud, so that's kind of useless for that. But when you're in performance mode, I guess the only real advantage I'm finding with this key is you can open it up, and instead of it being on an active valve, it's just open 100% the whole way. In the higher RPM ranges, when you're really stepping on it, you definitely don't notice much of a difference at all. But in the lower RPM ranges, up to around that 4,500 RPM, the car is definitely a whole lot louder, and we've even had a few more burbles introduced, which I'll try and catch today on camera for you. Honestly, for $200-300 bucks, I think it's definitely worth it. It definitely makes, like when you're just cruising through the city in those lower RPM ranges, just clicking through the gears, it's definitely a lot more rowdy than it was before. So for me personally, I think it was worth it. So now, what I've got with me is I've just picked up these brand new DJI Mic 2s. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set these up, one underneath the bonnet, mic'd up to the intake. The second one will be mounted off the back of the car, micing up the exhaust. I'm gonna head out now and capture some driving clips for you guys so you can see what the car sounds like now with the downpipe done and the intake done. Now I don't want to spoil too much, but in the next video we might be mucking around with the JB4 tune, so definitely stick around for that one. Now before we get into it, I just wanted to quickly show you guys something, if the camera wants to focus. We are currently sitting on 952 subscribers, which I know in the big scheme of things isn't much, but we're only 48 subscribers away from hitting 1,000, and maybe we'll hit 1,000 before this video even goes live, or while the video is live. But I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's watching, and if you've been watching along and enjoying the videos and you haven't subscribed yet, then definitely subscribe, because once we hit that 1,000 mark, we'll be able to monetize the channel. I'm not expecting much money to come through at the start, obviously, but I'm definitely pretty keen to keep growing the channel, and obviously as the channel keeps growing and making more money, we'll be able to get videos out even quicker for you guys and potentially take on a new project later this year. But anyway, I thought that was just a cool little milestone to share with you guys. But now it's time to set up the mics. Okay, so we got the car mic'd up. We've got one under here under the bonnet, and then the second one is just attached here facing the exhaust. Mics are still connected, so we should be good to keep going. already tell on video, but in those lower RPM ranges, the car's definitely a heap louder. Compared to the last time we mic'd the car up, I'm sure it sounds a whole lot better through the video if the mics are doing their job. But yeah, you definitely got to experience this thing in person now that it's all done. Also, these roads are pretty bumpy, so I'm slowing down a lot for some of the areas where I know I scrape, so don't mind me when I do that. Hopefully we can still get some good footage anyway. Fluttering so loud you can still hear it even over the exhaust at times, but overall mostly the sound's kind of overpowered by the exhaust. More bumps. I don't know about you guys, I think the car sounds heaps better than it did in its stock form, but I honestly should have done the downpipe the moment I got the car. And I know I said that I would probably wait till later down the track before we touch the back section of the exhaust, but hearing how much spicier the car is with just the downpipe done, I don't know. Maybe in a future video coming very soon, we may potentially try and liven up, but we'll see what happens. Starting to sag now, so we handle it. I don't think you could ever get sick of that sound. Also, I'm hoping to do a track day pretty soon and we'll bring the whole camera setup again. That way we can see how the car performs around the track, and I should have something sorted with a tune by then as well. But then that way we can really push the car to the limits and see what it can do, because obviously on the streets we got to stick to the speed limits and can't get the tyres spinning or anything like that. Okay, so we have the car back at home now, and it is safe to say that the DJI mics are still in one piece and the magnets actually work quite well. Now, as we all know, the camera never does it justice and it always sounds better in person, but hopefully by having these connected, we're able to somewhat give you guys an idea of what it sounds like now with the full custom downpipe. But anyway, let us know in the comment section down below if there's anything you want to see us do to the car. But for now, I'm going to start packing and get to bed, because nice and early tomorrow morning, we're heading to Sydney. We got to do a tunnel run. Can't miss one of those. So we're currently 3 hours into our trip already. We've stopped for coffee and it's starting to rain outside. but it's 6:30 in the morning and we left at about 3:30. That's why we haven't started the video till now, because it's a bit dark and I'm honestly still waking up. But in today's video, I'm not exactly sure yet what we're going to be filming, but I thought it'd be a fun idea to take you guys along with us. In case you're new to the channel and haven't seen the last video, we just installed a custom downpipe and midpipe, and this thing is sounding a whole lot better than it did in its factory setup. Also, I did just want to quickly mention that so far we've had no codes, so the XPF emulator that we installed when we did the downpipe has worked just fine. We've done probably a good 1000K since we installed the new downpipe, and still no codes, so that thing definitely works. So far on this trip we've done 462 Ks since we fueled up before we left, and the car is estimating that we have 220 Ks left on the tank, which will bring us to a total of 680 kilometers if that's correct, which is honestly not bad for a full tank of fuel. It is all highway driving though, but honestly I think that's pretty good. It's a lot better than my last car I had, at least. Now before we head off and get back on the highway, I'll show you guys what the car sounds like now on startup. It's just 7 minutes of traffic. We've been in this traffic for about 30 minutes and it's said 7 minutes the whole time. It's a lot longer than 7 minutes.
But we're patient people.
Alright, we're finally in Sydney, and to be honest, we've actually been here for a day now already. So I do apologise for not picking up the camera until now. But when we arrived, it was already night time, and we were also running on no sleep. So we pretty much crashed as soon as we got to the accommodation and spent this morning just relaxing and hanging around in the city. But I've got the camera now. I still don't know what we're going to do while we're down here. But this afternoon we are going to get the car washed because it is very dirty, which you'll see shortly. But everywhere's closed at the moment, and there is a bit of a, I don't know if it's dodgy or not, but there is a bit of a funny looking car wash around the corner where they wash your car while you have coffee. And so we're gonna suss that out and see if it's any good. Don't have high expectations, but I am getting a little bit desperate because the car is dirty and we do need to clean it up before we go and get some footage of it. So we're gonna go head there now, and we'll also later in this video, once we finally go and fuel up the car, we'll do a full breakdown of how much fuel and how much it costs to get down here. Also give you guys an idea of the fuel consumption and all that information, but we'll get to that soon. But for now, let's go get the car washed. Also, really quickly, we're staying near the city in Alexandria. This is a quick hotel check. Not too bad. Plenty of space. Got a bedroom down there with an ensuite and another bedroom downstairs with an ensuite. Head outside. Yeah, honestly not too bad. And also the car is in a residence only enclosed parking garage downstairs underground. So it is safe and off the streets. Here she is. Definitely a whole lot louder. But check this out, the car is very dirty. Okay, I tried to film a few shots to show you how dirty it was, but honestly the camera's not really picking it up. But in person, it is very dirty. Sadly, the car still isn't tuned yet, so we still have that annoying soft limiter. was perfectly timed. Damn. Okay, we're back at the accommodation and the car still isn't washed. But that's because they had a 2.5 hour wait time and we got dinner reservations, so we can't sit around and wait. But we will go there either after dinner or first thing tomorrow morning, because apparently, or from what the guy said, they're open 24/7 and work all through the night, even the cafe. So we'll definitely go to that soon. Okay, so it is the next day now. We ended up dropping the car off this morning to that car wash, and we got interrupted, but we're currently on the way now to go and pick up the car. And to be honest, I am a little bit nervous because the car wash, I don't know, it seemed a little bit dodgy, but I'm not sure, but we'll find out in just a second anyway. Also, once we got the car, we're gonna go head over to WRSC Performance here in Sydney. Hopefully he'll take us for a drive in his Stage 2 RS3, that way we can get a taste of what it's like tuned. But honestly, that might be a little bit dangerous because that might tempt me to get mine tuned straight away, which we're gonna do in the long run anyway, so should be a bit of fun. Low car problems, we're trying to figure out how to reverse, get this thing out of here without scraping, which is always a bit of fun. Okay, we got the car back at the accommodation now, so it's time to have a quick look around to see how they did. At a distance, everything looks pretty good. For a cheap $55 wash, that's actually pretty solid. It's not bad at all. And a quick look inside. Part of the $55, it looks like they vacuumed down the seats, vacuumed the floors, they wiped the dash. They didn't put any products or anything on the dash or the seats, but they wiped it all down, gave it all a vacuum. Again, not like the neatest or tidiest job. They even cleaned the wheels and did a pretty good job at cleaning the wheels. It even looks like the barrels probably aren't the cleanest, but they definitely rubbed them down somewhat. Bit of tyre polish. Honestly, $55, I'm pretty happy with that. Pop sounds so much better than mine.
Much more. They're loud. I always forget manual mode doesn't auto upshift.
Yeah.
Always hit the
Yeah, I do the same thing as well. The other thing that I hate that it does is, like, you know, sometimes, I know you probably tuned it out, but as it is stock, when I try to do a launch control, sometimes it won't activate. It just goes and then stops.
Oh really? I've never actually had that.
Yeah, it just won't activate. I have to sit there and let it, like, I don't know if I have to let it cool down or what it wants me to do, and then it finally
Finally got the
gets
good
going.
light. Please refuel.
Yeah, those. It's still crazy that it pops like that, even with the stock catback.
It's all on the down button, that OBF, and with the tune obviously, but
Yeah.
when you got, like, I'll show you, for example, efficiency or comfort. So it won't pop.
Alright,
That's as loud as it goes, because the valves are closed.
gotcha, yeah. I think we definitely need that. It's a little bit noisy here, but I thought I'd quickly show you this RS3. It's running the same Vossen wheels I want to run on mine. The front offset's a little bit wrong. They got it wrong on this one, so they're going to put some space on, so don't mind that. Yeah, this is one of the wheel options for mine. I don't know if I'll do the bronze. I'd probably do them in black or like a dark gunmetal grey. But anyway, I'll just show you. So I believe these are the Vossen VH5s or VF5s. Honestly, I think they just suit the car quite nicely as opposed to stock ones that we're running. Also, this has got the updated JDY downpipe, which obviously fits these 8Y models a lot better than the 8Vs. It's a lot more clearance, no rubbing, no issues with that. Whereas mine is the version 1, which is designed for the 8V models, which is why we're getting a bit of rubbing here on the side. The fitment's not great. We obviously had the issues up the top there too. We have recently adjusted the back brackets. It's no longer rubbing as bad on the top. It's just got the damage from when it was, unfortunately. I think we'll definitely have to upgrade to the version 2, that's for sure. And over here we've got the Eventuri option as well in another RS3. Also, another thing I like about this RS3 is the carbon fiber kit on it. I'm not too sure which one it is actually, but the diffuser does look pretty mean. Carbon side lip, and obviously the carbon on the front as well. And he's got the tinted headlights. Quick shout out to Shunt from WRSC Performance here in Sydney. He's the owner of that Stage 2 RS3 that we went for a lap in just before. As you can tell, my car with the downpipes and the OPF delete made a whole lot of a difference. It's a whole new car just with that alone. But then with jumping in his car, which has got the same setup but on a Stage 2 tune with the intercool and the other goodies as well, that's a whole nother car again, which makes me pretty excited to get mine tuned as well. So hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. And if you have an RS3 and you're in the Sydney region, then definitely swing past and come have a look. Well, we are finally back from Sydney, and before we end out today's video, I want to quickly talk to you guys about two things. Firstly, I just wanted to talk about the fuel consumption, and it's honestly not terrible. So our average fuel consumption on the way to Sydney and back was roughly 6.8 litres per 100 kilometres, which for a car like this, I think is honestly not that bad at all. It's actually really good. And for those of you who aren't in Australia, the current price for 98 fuel is roughly around that $1.95 mark, but on the way down to Sydney, we were paying anywhere from $1.90 to $2.10, so on average about $2 a litre. We managed to get to Sydney and back on pretty much spot on 3 tanks of fuel, but that's not including the extra driving we did around Sydney. But that brings us to a total of $300 for fuel to get from where I live up near Brisbane down to Sydney and back. So I think it's safe to say that the fuel consumption on this car is honestly not bad, even with the work that we've done to it. But when we get the car tuned, that might not be the case. And to give you guys a quick sneak peek into what we're going to be doing in the next video, we've just had this arrive in the mail. And this here is a JB4 piggyback tune. And of course, we are still going to do a full unlock and ECU tune at a later date. But in the meantime, I thought that this would be a bit of fun to install and see what kind of power gains we can get from this first. But I'm not going to get into too much detail with that right now. You're going to have to stick around for the next video. And now if you haven't subscribed, then definitely do that now. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.